Good evening. I won't lie, I did see you there, but I was hoping if I ignored you, you would go away, but you didn't. So here we are. When it comes to Christmas, I'm always looking forward to it. It's my favorite holiday. Yeah, aside from my birthday.
Shut the fuck up!
Well, yeah, I mean, there's just something about Christmas that I'm pretty sure I don't have to explain, you know, with the warmness of it, the coziness, just the environment of it all. It's a great holiday. I especially love any film that comes out of this time of season too, from the traditional family friendly, you know, films, any animated feature, Polar Express being my favorite, action films. Yes, I count the first Die Hard as a Christmas movie. It takes place on Christmas Eve. It has Christmas themings and music within it. It is a Christmas movie by definition, and I will take that to my grave as I'm being pulled down into the depths of hell by Satan himself. And the comedies. Yes, there are... Fine. Oh, fuck you. Fine. Okay, alright. Fine. I'll mention it. So, last year, if you remember, I took a look at Home Alone 2 on the SNES. Obviously, didn't like it. It was not good by any means. And this year, I figured I'd keep that tradition going of looking, or make it a tradition, and look at another Home Alone property. This time, being Home Alone 3. You know, it really says something about your family comedy film based on a story about a kid left home alone on Christmas who has to defend his house against some little crooks, when the first 3 words for the plot summary of the third movie on the wiki starts with, "in Hong Kong." Home Alone 3 was written by John Hughes and released December 12th, 1997, to a general distaste from critics and people alike.
Why would you lie to me?
Now, something most may notice while taking a look at the cover of this movie is that Macaulay was actually able to de-age for his returning role as Kevin in this movie, and alongside that, I'm fucking with you. It's a whole new cast. Aside from the name of the movie, the classic jingle at the beginning of it, this has no correlation to the first 2 films. Although it was intended in early drafts of the script for Macaulay to return to play Kevin for this movie, but around this time that the script was written, he had retired from acting in '94, so they were left with having to get a new kid for the 3rd installment. That's when they landed on Alex D. Linz to play Alex. An 8-year-old kid who has to stay home from school due to catching chickenpox and has to defend his house from being broken into. Pretty familiar stuff, you know, almost kind of like the first Home Alone movie, right? Yeah. Alex has to defend his house from Russian spies working with a North Korean terrorist group who are trying to retrieve a microchip that is able to be utilized in the development of deadly missiles. But in the process of trying to deliver it to North Korea, they hide it in a toy RC car to get it past airport security, but unfortunately it gets mixed up with another bag and ends up in Chicago all the way to Alex's hands. Now, when it comes to John Hughes, I am typically a fan of most of the things he writes, you know, from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Christmas Vacation, Uncle Buck, the first Home Alone, you know, and etc., etc. He's written a lot of good things, but this movie is just over the top. For no good reason, too, you know? Like, even in the first 2 minutes of this film, I'm like... Let's take a look at the first movie, right? You know, and its plot. You know, we have Kevin, you know, who is an 8-year-old accidentally left home alone, no pun intended, by his family, you know? And then we have these 2 crooks who are going around stealing and robbing houses while people are gone on Christmas vacations. And here's Kevin, who is left having to defend his house from these burglars, in a very comedic, slapstick, booby trap way. And, you know, there's plenty of heart written throughout this movie, and plenty of legitimately funny moments, you know, just anything that could be well-written characters too, you know. I think what makes the first movie so good is that the characters are just really well written. Like, Kevin is not an annoying 8-year-old. He's like, when I was 8, I wanted to be Kevin, you know? I was like, I want to be him, you know? And then Harry and Marv are great written characters for being the enemy. They aren't menacing, but at the same time are. There's not too much seriousness put into them. There's just the nice amount of sprinkle of both. And to not forget about like all the heart in this movie, you know, from Kevin and his mother and the old man with the shovel, like, wow, you know, beautifully written characters and moments and just a great script and a great movie. In Home Alone 3, we have the layouts of a Home Alone plot. And that's about it. As I stated earlier, we have this whole build-up with the RC car getting misplaced and ending up in Alex's hands by, honestly, I don't remember her name, and even when I was watching the movie, I couldn't remember her name. So in my notes, I just wrote her in as Old Bitch, so I will refer to her as Old Bitch. Nothing against the actor as well, I just think it fits the character, you know? Anyways, Old Bitch has realized that the bags have been mixed up and she doesn't have her bread anymore, so she gives Alex the RC car after he finishes shoveling her driveway. Alex takes the toy home and finds out that he has chickenpox and for some reason screams bloody murder.
Alex slammed the toilet seat down on his thing again.
Stupid kid, imagine having that happen to you. Anyways, yeah, Alex has developed chickenpox, which keeps him home from school. Personally, I think this is actually a clever-ish change up from the forgetting child thing. Alex also has 2 siblings. Again, I don't know their names, and they're not important at all, except for the fact that the sister is Scarlett Johansson. I didn't even notice that while I was watching the movie, and I like looked up afterwards because I was like, I know Scarlett Johansson's in this movie, but like, where the fuck was she? And then I looked it up, and then I was like, oh shit, she was the sister. Anyways, the Russians find out where it went, set up shop in this neighborhood, and are like, well, there are too many damn houses, and they all look alike. Guess we gotta rob them all. So the next day while watching Alex, his mom ends up having to go into the office for a bit, with Alex pleading with her to stay because...
What about crooks?
So believe it or not, but the spies hit up the first house, with Alex seeing all of it from his telescope and calls the cops, as any normal person would. Though the spies make it out just in time for the cops to show up and just think it was a made-up call. So the next time this happens, you'd think the police would maybe take a little bit of a deeper look into all this, right?
Son, this is the second time in 2 days that you've called the police. It's a very serious matter when a person calls the police.
So, no one believes Alex, not even his siblings, who do some of the shittiest tormenting I've ever seen. And it's not like shitty as in they're mean, but like, it just sucks. I don't even think I can call this tormenting. Anyways, with no one believing Alex, he decides to be the neighborhood watch and then fucking literally spews out basically the mystery of why the spies aren't taking anything from the houses that they are breaking into.
I agree, Doris. The next stop is the Alcott's house. What kind of a burglar goes into a house and doesn't take anything? Do you know what I think? I think they're looking for something special. And they're looking in everybody's house because they don't know who has it. The question is, what is it?
It was just a hunch. The next day after Alex's parents leave him home alone for the third goddamn time, he goes and grabs a camcorder, a couple of wires, a TV, and then boom. Alex, the 8-year-old, has just developed a wireless camera signal straight to his TV. I'm sorry, what? Also, what confuses me the most is the range with this RC car. He drives this fucker into other people's houses and still has signal. He's still in range. Why the fuck couldn't I get an RC car like that when I was younger? Speaking of the RC car real quick, right as Alex sends it out, there's this close-up shot of like the tires spinning, but you can so clearly tell that it's flour and not snow. And I just thought it was funny because it just looks bad. I digress. The RC car makes its way into the house that the spies are in, with them getting their hands on the RC car and taking the tape out of the camera. But Alex has the car escape, insert slapstick comedy, blah. But what confuses me the most is that the ripoff David Schwimmer here chases down the RC car in a full fucking minivan and almost crushes the RC car in the process. Dumbass. You could have crushed the chip and then, oops, fucked myself over. Speaking of the chip, though, Alex finds it in the RC car and calls the military about it. You know, just, what a speed dial. The military. Beep, boop, beep, boop. But this results in the call being sent to the FBI, and then the FBI finds out where the spies are, and then...
Sir, this just came in from the Air Force. Some kid named Pruitt called the recruiting office in Chicago. Said he found a computer chip in a toy car.
We're going to Chicago.
At the same time, the spies also find out where Alex lives and plan on breaking into the house the next day. So, you know, we have the montage of Alex going around and booby-trapping his house for the next day. And after Alex's mom leaves for the 4th time, we have the classic slapstick ensue. And to be honest, there's just something different about this movie's booby traps and slapstick compared to like the first twos. Like a lot of these are very, very precise and also just are a little bit less believable. I don't know. Like just compared to what Kevin did in the first movie and what Alex is doing in this movie, I have a harder time believing it. But honestly, like the precision with some of these are so precise. Like this one right here, like, bro, duck the fuck out of the way! Also, to compare the first two again, Marv and Harry never seemed like a serious threat, if you know what I mean. At base, they were very cartoonish, but not that stupid kind of cartoonish. Even when they caught Kevin for the split second in the first movie, it was never like, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you, kid, I'm gonna take this gun and I'm gonna shoot you, blah, blah, blah. No. But in this, these motherfuckers come in with literal shotguns and pistols. What? And they never make like a legitimate threat with the gun to the kid. I mean, kinda, but not really. But at the same time, it's like, they, like you know, the intention is like, they're gonna like maybe shoot the kid. That's how I look at it, and that's why I don't like these characters even more. Even then, the only times the guns are fired is in the air or at the spy's expense, but still, it adds so much unneeded weight to the situation at hand. Meanwhile, while this is all going down on Alex's house, the FBI pull up to the school to question/inform Alex's family of what's been happening.
Son, you called the Air Force about a computer chip and a remote control car?
No.
Oh, God. It's Alex. It's my other son. Why, what's happened?
He may be in danger.
Now, right after this, we have the most forced in, like, family bond moment. Like, it has no build up to it. It doesn't feel genuine at all. It's just like, I care for my brother out of nowhere. Along with the force, look at the family bonding moment for the siblings. There's also the FBI chief explaining to the others about like what is going on, and it's supposed to be kind of like this nod to be like, haha, this is pretty intense of a plot, you know. But I just sit here and realize how stupid this is for a Home Alone film. Anyways, the spies all get caught up, and then the movie just ends. It just ends. I shit you not. You can look up a clip online. You can look, if you have Disney Plus, it's on there. You can go to the end. It just ends. After a couple more rounds of slapstick, the cops show up, and it just ends. There's no emotional moment between Alex, his mom, or his parents, or his siblings, like a well-written thing. Not even the old lady. Just it just ends. No development in the characters. It's not like Alex learned a lesson. It's not like he's changed. He's become a better kid. It's nothing. He's just done. The best way that I can describe Home Alone 3 is that it's a official Home Alone ripoff, if that makes any sense, which I hope it does. It has the layouts and the setups of a Home Alone type film, even like almost jot for jot of the first movie. But when it comes to executing it, there's something missing, and it's the heart and it's the clever writing, that made the first one, and to a lesser degree, second one, enjoyable films. This movie just doesn't have that. And when I was younger, I was like, this movie, cool, this movie, fine. There's 4 guys and they look at ha ha ha. I didn't mind it when I was younger, but that's because I was not very keen on noticing certain things when I was younger. I am now. And this movie honestly kind of pisses me off because it's just a disgrace to like the first one. And I don't mean to be like this over like dramatic like critic, because I'm not trying to be a critic. I'm just saying this movie is not good. It's just really not. It's very mediocre at best, and it's just very watered down from something legit like the first one, and it just ends, and the end of the movie just ends. There's nothing, because it just was like, all right, that's it, we're done, we're shipping it off, that's it. Merry Christmas. I'm going back to the closet. I can't.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Goodbye, troubles. See you later. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. What? From now on, our troubles will be miles away. Here we are as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more.